one second here. Your girl got her some cute cards because the last few videos I feel like I was trying to look in a certain direction, and also I'm still figuring out the setup, let me just put it that way. So I'm for less distractions and for you to understand what I'm trying to convey better. So hello everyone, and welcome back again to my channel. My name is Dan Bourgeoise, aka Brenda. Once again, this channel was created to be of service to you, whether you're in an entrepreneur journey or you're just trying to figure out what the next step is for your life. And so welcome back again to my channel. Thank you so much for spending the time with me today. I do not take it for granted, and I really hope that this video blesses you and that it allows you to also be of service in your own way. So the next set of videos, I'm starting a series on the foundational skills and the core traits that I, in my humble opinion, think that you need to have to be an entrepreneur. Once again, like I always say, this is not the final word. This is my opinion based on research that I've done and based on my own experiences. So do not take my word as the final say. And I just hope that it adds a little bit of the puzzle to your own journey in what you're trying to do. The first video, which is our video today, is going to be about the fear of failure. So I was saying the sources of failure. I talked about how you grew up and who's around you. I talked about trauma, and lastly I talked about what failure means to you. What's your definition of failure? So I feel like this video is going to be super long. I might split it into part 1 and part 2, but for the next thing I wanted to talk about is the impacts and the consequences of being afraid to fail. Yeah, the impact and the consequences of the fear of failure. It's a really big deal, because if you're afraid to fail, you're going to avoid tasks, you're going to avoid starting projects, you're going to avoid finishing projects, you're even going to avoid other people who you know are going to be asking you, how is it going with the project that you started? What's the latest? You're going to be avoiding those. Also, when you're afraid to fail, you end up with low self-esteem because you identify the thing that you're not finishing, or the thing that you think you're failing at. You associate that thing to your worth, and so the more you don't do it, the more time goes by, the more you don't see progress in that thing, the more you don't attempt it, the more you feel like you are worth less, or worth less than you want to be worth, and so that leads to low self-esteem. Also, you feel like you're not efficient, right? Regardless of all the other things that you do, you get up, you go to work and whatever, there's that feeling of something is missing. To be honest, I felt this way and I dealt with this while I was thinking about and processing starting my YouTube channel. I dealt with this severely, like just constantly feeling like something was missing, feeling like I was pregnant with information that I needed to give the world. And so I'm really happy I'm doing this. I'm not gonna lie, I sleep better. I feel more, I feel like I'm accomplishing something. It's like when you do what your spirit is calling you to do as a child of God, all you can do is just do your part and you leave the rest to God. But another cause or another side effect of the fear of failure is you don't learn how to be resilient, right? People who write the bar 5 times, write their CPA exam multiple times, go through all the modules, those people have built a certain kind of resilience that allows them to face multiple projects, to face multiple challenges in life. So you kind of lose the opportunity to build that kind of resilience for yourself. Also, you know, there's the feeling of underachievement, which I mentioned earlier. Is kind of tied to the low self-esteem. Every time that you know deep down in you, you know, even you who's watching this video, you know the things that you're meant to be doing, you know the things that you should be doing, you should put your mind to, When you know those things and you're not doing them, you're going to feel like you've unachieved. You feel like you haven't achieved anything. And lastly, I feel like the fear of failure leads to high anxiety in life, right? You're always anxious about the thing that you haven't done. And for a lot of people, when I speak of things that include feelings and thoughts, I feel like for a lot of people, they can't even relate to it. It's like, what am I talking about? And I think the reason for that is not everybody is connected to how they're feeling, right? But they are projecting a lot of the things that they're feeling, but they don't even recognize the feelings to be able to adjust or to make a difference. And so I understand if it doesn't make sense to you, but I guarantee you, if you're on the path of any of these things that I'm talking about, those feelings are showing up. I'm just gonna adjust this light. Those feelings are showing up in other areas of your life. They're showing up and probably not showing up the way you would like them to, but it's like your mind is looking for a place to place them. And if you don't relate or do that self-work that I advocate for, I feel like I mentioned it in all my videos, you're not going to see the progress that you want to see. So yeah, I think I'll end there when it comes to the side effects of the fear of it, right? How do you overcome the fear of failure? I think that obviously I always go back to what is the thing in my life that is bigger than me? What do I feel like I need to rely on? What do I think I can trust for the answer to my quest? And I'm saying that to say, I'm gonna give you a list of ways to overcome the fear of failure. But for me, whatever I do on this list, I'm gonna take it back to God. I'm gonna ground it back in the thing that's bigger than me. So I'm saying that to say, take my list with a grain of salt. Apply these principles, try to see if it's going to help you get over that hump that you're in. But once you apply it and you've done all you can do, just stand and take it to the place that is bigger than you. So one, you have to recognize and own your fears. This speaks to, you guys know what I'm about to say already, self-talk, self-relationship, self-check, recognizing and owning the fact that you do have a fear of failure is numero uno. If you don't know that you have a fear of failure, you're kind of going around life blind, right? So if you recognize it, you own your fears, you listen to every time that you're making an excuse not to do that thing that you're meant to do, you already know you're on the right track. Next, you have to redefine what failure actually is to you. We talked about how part of the reason why some people deal with the fear of failure is because they've tied failure to the definition of something that somebody else maybe told them was the definition of success. And so you have to redefine, what does failure mean to you? And by you, I mean you today, in this time and now. I don't mean you when you were younger. I don't mean goals that you haven't had the chance to achieve. I mean you today and now. What does failure mean to you? Also, that ties into sort of defining what success means to you, right? I feel like a lot of us are going through the motions and we're never feeling satisfied. We're never feeling like we've achieved anything because we haven't defined what success is to us. We are never feeling like we're making progress, right? You feel inundated in the things that you're doing, you're going through the motions. But I feel like if you take a pause, put a stop button on everything that's going on in your life, and you decide to redefine what success is to you, I feel like maybe you'll be a little bit happier. Maybe you'll be able to recognize a lot of the things that you've done and you've done correctly. Maybe you'll be able to give yourself a pat on the back for the number of things that you're juggling today. But if your definition of success is a photo on IG of a Lamborghini, I mean, you're gonna work for a long time before you get to that. I mean, if Jesus was still sending manna from heaven with, bags of money, that would be great. But if you redefine, my nose is itching. If you redefine what success is to you, you just might be a little bit happier. And that joy means you have room to do something else. You have room to get rid of the fear of failure. You have room to attempt new things. Another one is obviously boost your self-esteem. everything goes back to my favorite topic, which is self-worth. If you're looking within yourself and you're digging within yourself, you're able to boost your self-esteem. And what I mean by that is, if you know the areas where you feel less than, you know the areas where you feel like you're not where you would like to be, a lot of times they're also connected to how we feel about ourselves. So if you forget about the goals, forget about passion and purpose, if you start working on yourself, start boosting your own self-esteem. And sometimes we cannot do it alone. We gotta pray and ask the Holy Spirit to boost your self-esteem, honey. Okay, sometimes we have to take it to God and ask God to boost our self-esteem, boost our confidence. And sometimes you just have to do the actual work. You know, I have a small library in my apartment, and I feel like a lot of the books there are self-help books, confidence books, and I just started the book club. You're going to see the first book club video coming up, and I feel like it's the best book to start with. Okay, so I'm gonna start a book club video where I give you summaries of lessons from books, and I really hope that, again, it blesses you. That's why we're here. So yeah, so boosting your self-esteem, right? If you boost your self-esteem, you're able to get rid of the fear of failure. Another thing is, give yourself the permission to fail. I feel like once you give yourself permission to fail, you've given away the power that failure has on you. You've killed it. It's like the only thing that could have hurt me is you saying I failed. But then if I give myself permission and say, I'm going into this, I have faith that I'm gonna do well, but if I don't, you know what? I'm allowed to fail because I am still me. If I fail, I'm gonna get back up. If I fail, I'm gonna try again. As long as I have life, as long as we have breath, we have life, we have hope, right? So give yourself permission to fail. And what that does is it will relieve the pressure of the fear of failure. It will allow you to feel like, I can do this. I can do this. What do I really have to lose? I know that in my last few videos I said, what do you have to lose, a lot of times, but this is the key to you having nothing to lose, is knowing that you have permission to fail. Another thing is, plan to fail, which is similar. I don't like this point, only because as a Christian, when you have faith, you have to plan to win all the time. But sometimes what your faith is, it's not, I'm gonna win regardless, is regardless of how this goes, I'm gonna be good because I have faith. So it's about perspective. Another point is, which is connected to giving yourself permission to fail. And this is something my brother always says, my oldest brother, he's always saying, when you're scared of something or you're worried, think about it all the way to the end and think of the worst case scenario. So keep going down the path. So what if I write this exam and I fail? Okay, so you fail, and then what? Well, then what if I fail and then I have to study? Okay, then you take the exam again, and then what? So what if I take it again? Means I have to pay again, which means okay, then you're going to figure it out, you're going to pay, and then what? And I feel like when you ask that question, you keep going down the line, you realize that nothing at the end of that road is do or die, right? Of course, this doesn't apply for every situation. There's situations in life that are major, you can't apply this, but I feel like if you start there, the fear of failure can sort of be forgotten. Another one is focusing on what you can control. A lot of times the things that we go after or our endeavors, are a lot of the parts of them we can't control. A lot of the parts of them, there's nothing we can do about them, right? And so just remembering that you can't control everything and focusing on what you can control can also help you to say, okay, you know what? There's parts of this I can't control. So if it doesn't go my way, at least I know I tried. And we're almost there, guys. This video is really long. I know I'm gonna split it in two because there's just no way I'm gonna post a video that's 30 minutes long. So another one is breaking your projects into smaller tasks, or your goal into smaller tasks. They say, I don't know, the saying is that an elephant can be eaten one bite at a time, or you cook an elephant one bite at a time, or something like that. But if your goal is to become, the next designer on the earth, or the next Gucci, maybe you start by making a dress for somebody at home. I think that's breaking your project down. You know, it's not to say you're reducing the level of your dream, but what that allows you to do is it takes off the pressure of how big you think the thing you want is, and it brings it down to something small that you can do today. And you can go to bed and say, I've done one thing towards my goal today. Lastly, assess your life. See the things that you've tried in the past, what didn't work about them, and you know, change what's not working in that department. What did not work about the things that you tried to do in the past? And so that's another way to fix the fear of failure. So yeah, the last three are very mental. First, I'll say, you know, mind work is very important. There's an app that I started using recently for meditation, but I've had it for many years, and it's calming your mind down. For those of us who have really, really busy minds, it's a very, very good app. But keeping your mind and your body calm is like preparing the house for the visitors to come, and those visitors are your thoughts, right? So I feel like if you're dealing with the fear of failure, it's a different form of anxiety. So you should definitely try to calm your mind as much as possible. The second one is obviously utilizing positive mantras. My environment is full of positive sticky notes. My office, my room, and I feel like people don't realize the power of positivity, the power of positive affirmations, and they are reminders, right, of you telling yourself what the world is not going to tell you. And I do think that part of the fear of failure sometimes comes from the fact that we've heard so many negative things. We've heard so much negative feedback. You know, feedback comes in positive and negative, but for some reason in this world that we live in, people are quick to tell you the negative feedback, but not the positive. And I feel like I'm not gonna say people should stop. I'm gonna say, if you're watching this video, make it a point to give somebody in your life positive feedback. I guarantee you, people already know what they're doing wrong. I guarantee you, people who are flawed, everybody's going through something, and everybody already knows what they're doing wrong. Everybody already knows what they're struggling with. So I'm challenging you who's watching this video to give somebody in your life some positive feedback, and let's just see if that's not going to spark something positive, spark them getting out of the fear of failure. Maybe they're still failing because of all the negative feedback. It's just negative feedback on top of negative feedback, right? The Bible says that light drives out darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. So I feel like sometimes instead of adding darkness into people's lives in terms of negative feedback, maybe let's put one sentence of positive feedback in there. Maybe let's use that small light to drive out the darkness, and the darkness will comprehend it not. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. I think that we have exhausted the fear of failure, and I think that in conclusion, it's a very important trait for anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur, anybody who wants to take their hustle to the next step, anybody who wants to make that next move in their purpose and passion, anybody who wants to take that next step or make a difference in their life, do something different, be a destiny changer, be somebody who is going to change the face of your generations, you know, the person who will build generational wealth. If you're that person in your life, you need to get rid of the fear of failure, because Rome was not built in a day. So I'm just gonna Google one thing that I wanted to add to this video, and it's about how many times Edison tried the light bulb before he was successful. So let's Google it together. How many times did Edison try before the light bulb? Okay. As an inventor, Edison made 1,000 unsuccessful attempts at inventing the light bulb. 1,000. 1,000. So what does that mean? If you haven't failed 1,000 times, there's a probability that you're still close to the next greatest thing. 1,000 times. So I'm gonna leave it here. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to get rid of the fear of failure. If you're not an entrepreneur and you're just somebody who wants to live a simple life, get rid of the fear of failure so you don't impart it onto your children. And thank you again for spending time with me today. Thank you for taking the time to watch till the end. If you're listening to this part, you watch till the end. I hope that I see you again soon. I hope that this video blessed you. I hope it touched you. I hope it made a difference in your life, because that's what matters and that's why I'm here. And I hope that you're going to stay tuned. Please like this video, share with somebody who you think needs it, comment below, ask me a question. If you're struggling with something, or there's something that has made you scared to fail so bad that you can't even move, comment below. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and the comment section is literally the message. Sometimes all you need to do is read the comment and you're like, oh, I'm good. So contribute to the comment section here at Dambosha's. And I hope you have a good day. I'm gonna stop rambling. I told you guys I'm working on it. Stay in service because the world needs you. Okay, bye.